Blessings, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit today about a vision that I had at my spiritualist church yesterday. And if you don't know what a spiritualist church is, it's actually an organization, and it's not per se a religion, but it's an organization, and it proposes that we live in a metaphysical world, and that there is more than just the physical, and that when we pass over, that we are still alive, we are just living in another realm, and that we have the capacity to communicate with that other realm. So for me, that's very interesting, and I align with that because I do feel that I have the capability, and I do believe you have the capability to communicate in various ways, whether it be through our artwork or oracle cards, which we're going to do today, or sound healing or prayer or meditation or dowsing rods. There's lots of ways for us to communicate with beings that are in other forms. They are not only in physical form like we are. And of course, we are not only in physical form. We are souls, and we tend to forget that part because we live so much and stay attuned to our physical world that sometimes we forget that we have a divinity within us. So that's a big part of what I'm going to talk about today. So anyway, I belong to this church, and I sometimes do Reiki healings there, and energy transmissions and readings, and I lecture once in a while, and it's just a really great local community of like-minded people, and it's just lovely, and I love it. So anyway, I went to service yesterday, and while the healings were going on, I wasn't doing healings yesterday, but I always channel Reiki energy since I'm a Reiki practitioner, and sometimes I always get this overwhelming feeling of just beautiful connection and harmony and unity consciousness when I'm there, and unconditional love. But sometimes I also get a message, either a visual message or an auditory message. So yesterday I actually stood up after service, or I'm sorry, during the service, there's an opportunity to give readings. And I gave a reading, and this was what I heard and saw. And it was for the collective of everybody that was there yesterday, but I believe it's for all of us because we are all a greater human collective. So I'm going to share this message now in hopes that it inspires you and opens your heart and, gives you a sense of peace and content today, because we are living in crazy times, but we have always lived in crazy times on planet Earth. That's part of the duality of Earth, that we come here to experience everything, and everything is a, substance for how we can then move up the ladder of, the Hindus talk about the ladder of ascension, that every time we go through something and we learn, we evolve, we share our wisdom, we are taking another step up the ladder of ascension toward our true connection with our true self and with spirit. So while the two people who were up there doing one-on-one healings with people at benches, I was just, tuning into the energy. And I will say to spirit, and you can do this too, is there something you would like me to be a vessel for, to share? You could do this every single day, whatever, if you pray when you wake or before you go to bed at night or during your meditation time. But it's a really good question to say, how can I serve today? How can I be a vessel for love and higher frequencies to come in? So I asked that, is there, something you would like me to share? And I started to get this visual of what looked like, what we would say constellations, when we look up in the sky and we see a constellation of stars. And it was very beautiful. And I said, why, okay, but I don't know why you're showing this to me. And you have to ask questions sometimes with spirit too. Go ahead and ask questions. That's how you go deeper with it. And then I kind of got what I call like a drop in of like the whole picture. And then I had to I didn't really dissect it until I stood up in front of the congregation. And I knew when I started talking that I would be able to connect the dots of what I was shown and what I heard. And really what I heard, which is clairsentience, you have a feeling about something, a overall feeling. So this is what I felt Spirit was trying to say. Spirit was saying, when you look up at the night sky and you as a human are in awe and wonder of it, and you think that it's something that's so mysterious, and esoteric, and you can never understand the vastness of it, what it actually is made of, and you start to then ask questions about yourself. Well, where did I come from? What is my purpose here? the metaphor, the analogy was that we are just, as humans, we are just as vast as that big black cosmic sky filled with all of these individual pinpoint lights that create almost like a sacred geometry when you're looking up into the sky. And I think we've all had that feeling, or we've experienced that when you've been someplace, maybe out west where there's less, pollution in the sky, and you're able to really, really see the sky all lit up. And it is majestic, But Spirit was saying that I should tell the congregation that anytime people gather, as Jesus said, when one or more of you gather in my name, the power is amplified, the frequency is amplified, the truth is amplified, the healing is amplified, the transformation is amplified. And Spirit was saying, within you is a light. There is a light within each one of you that is so beautiful and so majestic and so powerful. And that light within each of you, when it is connected, and Spirit was showing me how almost there was this web of light between the people that were in the church yesterday, and that everybody came to that church on this day for a reason, to raise the collective energy, of the church, and to raise their own frequency. But that when we gather in small groups like that, and we're gathering in love and harmony and unity, that we are generating that energy, and then we walk out of that church or that spirit circle or wherever we are, or just a gathering of friends. It doesn't have to be related to religion or spirituality. But the energy has been raised, the frequency has been raised, and everybody is now in a state of joy and happiness and laughter and, possibility and potential and magic and connection and all that stuff. And then you walk out, and now that energy is a part of you, and you're taking it out into the world. You may go to Wegmans, that's a grocery store here locally. You may go to your local grocery store. You may go to the gas station, wherever you're going. Maybe you're going over to your mother's house and just to take care of her or help her with something that day. But now you're taking that energy with you, and you are spreading it out. You are giving of it. And, you don't necessarily have to say, oh, you don't have to talk. It's a part of you, and it is flowing from you because you have been in a place where it has been generated. So to further on that message, what they were saying to me is that together our lights are what is the true power of being human on this planet, because we are connecting our divine selves and our divine blueprint. And when we do that, it is from that energy that things start to shift and change. So we look out and see what's happening now in a world of war and corruption and abuse. And these are such low frequencies, but it is the little light inside each one of us that is literally still holding the planet in its position, spinning on its axis. There has to be, what I'm hearing now, there is, and there has to be more love than hate or fear. There more love, more unity, more connection than hate, fear, division. Otherwise, this wouldn't be working. So it's kind of like they're trying to say to us, don't just focus on all of those lower energies, because then you're putting your energy into that basket. Try to remember that this planet could not still be existing if the greater aspect of all of us was not love and unity consciousness. Try to focus on what is greater. That is the majority, and the other is the minority. But because there's so much social media on so many aspects now, we tend to think like we're just living in a state of fear and agitation because we think the lower frequencies are winning, but they're not. They are not winning, because that light in you is so powerful. And you may think it's small, but it's not small. And when you realize that it's not small, that's when you come into your true power. And there's lots of ways for you to shine that light. You may be vocal, you may be active, but again, you have to find your own way that you shine that little light within, which is really the biggest light in the universe. So they were basically saying that when they were showing me that when they look down upon us, when spirit, any entity that is in spirit form and is of goodness and light, when they look down upon us, and there are many, many, many planets and starseed nations that we don't even know about, that they look at us in awe, the way that we look at that night sky in awe. And they said that the reason why is because they see our sacred geometry. They see how our light is connected. They see the web of light of humanity. And they know that we have chosen to come to a planet that is challenging and has a lot of duality and has a lot of struggle and power hierarchies and all of that stuff. And they are in awe of us, that those of us who carry our light and tune into our light within, we all carry it, that we keep going, that we keep getting up. You know, I've been talking about this on a lot of my last videos about the energies of Jesus and what he came to seed, which was there will be crucifixion, there can be resurrection, and that will lead to ascension. So you can watch some of my past videos if you want a deeper dive into talking about those energies. But those energies are seated within us, and we have the capability, like he did, to play out those energies and to live those energies to their fullest. And that is what will shift and the trajectory of the planet and where it's going. So they are in awe of us. They think that we are beautiful. They think that our little lights within connected is a night sky in a sense. And I'm hearing right now that, you know, they're cheering for us. They are standing by us. They believe in us. They know that the shift, the revolution, the spiritual revolution is in place now. The evolution of the planet is beginning. We are in the beginning stages, and we should be proud of any moment that we have, that we stand in our power. Yes. So it's interesting because I had another deck of cards out, and then I was starting to shuffle it, and Spirit said to me that this is not the deck I want you to pull a card from. And so then I went over and looked at all my cards, and I have a lot. And they told me to pick a card from this deck, Oracle of the Hidden Worlds, Lucy Cavendish. Artwork by Gilbert Williams. I always say the artist because they don't get enough credit. Love this deck. It is so beautiful. But then how interesting is this? When I took it out of the box, when they said, no, that deck, I looked at the back side of the card and look what it is. It's exactly what I was going to talk about, but I didn't know that when I chose this deck. Here we see kind of the flower of life pattern matrix, but doesn't it look like what I just talked about? All those little points of light connected in this web, this greater web of frequency, and a frequency, like I said, that is going to come together to change the world. So let's just pull a card on the spot and see what we get. I want to see if I had glasses here. Let's see what we get to close out this reading. We'll just pull one from the middle. And it says water, spirit, emotions, memory, life force. I'll let you tune into that. Water, spirit, emotions, memory, life force. Well, what I'm getting when I tune into this immediately is I'm going right to the word memory. And they're saying remember, which is something that I say a lot when I talk to people, when I do my spirit circle at the church. I also do a monthly spirit circle there. You know, remember, because I've been hearing that phrase for years and years now as I've been on my spiritual journey. Remember who you are. Remember your true power. Remember your purpose. Remember what you're here to do. And it's not always this big worldly purpose. You know, it's just about the basic, okay? Remember that you are a divine creature with a light within, and that you came here to just remember that light yourself, and to understand the power of it, and to give it to the world in service in any way that you can. So for some people, it may not be making a video like this. I didn't do this for years either. I took a break from it. But you will know when something resonates with you that it's something you need to do. So remembering who we truly are, and life force, energy, and emotions. So this could be a whole video itself, but maybe I'll do that as a next video because I'm at 15 minutes now. So if you were interested in this, you can watch the second video and I'll do a part 2, like really tuning into the energy of this card. So let's close with a little sound healing. Start to draw your energy back into yourself. Pull it back from where it is outwards, where you've given it away, where people have taken it away, and bring it back into your auric field. Chakra, Seiki, Honshaze Shonen, Daikomio, Merkafakalishma, and the violet flame of transmutation. Let the vibration of the bowl fill your heart, fill your chakra system, fill your body. Feel your energy coming back into your center. You're now drawing it deeper, deeper, deeper into your heart chakra. Feel it radiating up, radiating down, your entire chakra system. Feeling all parts of your body, your thoughts, your emotions. Back to balance, back to harmony, back to your light. Blessings, everyone. Have a great day.